dear friends and masters. Welcome you all to the weekend wisdom session organized by Pyramid Valley International. Today, we have Mr. Srinivas Reddy and Parinita Patriji with us. One of the important guidelines of PSS movement is to utilize the full moon energies. Full moon plays an important role for a meditator. Let us know more about all these topics, how a full moon can help a person and how those energies will be more powerful for a meditator and a spiritual seeker. So today we have Mr. Srinivas Reddy with us. So Parinita Patri is the daughter of Brahmarshi Patriji, the founder of Pyramid Spiritual Society's movement. So this couple are working for Svadhyaya Yoga. They are the co-founders for that. The main aim of the Svadhyaya Yoga is to get the world's best literature available. From the year 2009, they have been striving hard to bring various English New Age spiritual books into the language of Telugu. They have been conducting various workshops and classes worldwide on the spiritual subjects such as karma, family values, virtues, plant-based food, etc. Reading right spiritual books is another aspect emphasized by Patriji. And Mr. Srinivas Reddy is an moving library, we can say. He has so much of wisdom in him. Generally we say as encyclopedia, but I say him as a library because he has read thousands and thousands of books. And if you hear his session, we can get the gist of the wisdom of the book. I welcome you, sir, for today's session.
Today's concept will be like Symphony of Zodiac. Actually, this subject was introduced by Alice Bailey and Torkham Seradarian. Frankly speaking, this full moon meditation concept was given to humanity in the year 1922. So since then, this subject is there on the physical plane or on total globe. So we got so fascinated by reading the initial book. This is the book, Symphony of the Zodiac. So by Torkham Seradarian. This is a very voluminous book. And this subject is so oceanic, like we need to have more classes. So I'm happy that we are having an introductory or an overview of this concept. This opportunity is, I expect all people to utilize this opportunity, and this concept is so oceanic. You can't cover all these things in one class or two classes, but at least I'm happy that we are introducing them to our viewers in Karnataka. So I would like to start by speaking about giving you a para so that Pari will take up the class today, and tomorrow I'll be going to take the class. So the ageless wisdom teaches that we and the cosmos are inextricably linked in a unified system of energy exchange, each part influencing the other. Each month, our sun enters the electromagnetic field of one of the signs of the zodiac and transmits to Earth the unique energy combinations found in that particular sign, the opportunity to contact this energy can be a moment of regeneration, a moment to regain contact with our lost vision or to envision new goals, a new purpose, to charge our being and to redirect our steps on the path of evolution and service. If we prepare ourselves properly to receive the vitalizing energies which are bestowed. So this is what is the real essence of entire Symphony of the Zodiac and full moon meditation. And I expect all people to be meditating so regularly. And the full moon meditation concept is an extension and a deeper aspect of Anapanasati meditation. So please enjoy the session by Parinita Patri.
So, dear friends, we are in this month, in the star of Leo. So today, Parinita Patri is going to tell us more details on Leo full moon. It is just tomorrow, so the effect has given on the previous day and the after day. So let us hear from her more about the details from the zodiac of the symbol. We welcome you, Parinita ma'am.
Thank you so much, Shalini. Namaste and pranams to everyone. Hi, hello, assalamu alaikum to everyone. Thank you so much for conducting this program. And this is a very unique program, I must say, which has been, put in a very systematic manner. Thank you so much. And all the speakers are so beautiful. And everything has been set up properly. Thank you so much, Shalini and Chandu and the entire Karnataka team to set it up. Today I'm going to talk about the Leo full moon. Since we are on the Leo full moon time and the energies are such of the Leo aspect, the Leo zodiacal sign. Today we are going to learn about the Leo full moon festival. We are here to celebrate the grandeur of the zodiacal signs and the energies that we are, we are in right now. This is a huge celebration that we are in, and I'm glad that we are starting the celebration with a full moon. It's a beautiful sign for us all over. And let's learn about what is the Leo full moon and what is its significance. And this subject has been accepted from the Wisdom of the Zodiac Volume 2 by Torquem Seradarian. So here we go. Here we start. So when we look at this picture, we look at all the zodiacal signs, and we may not know everything, but the general philosophy is that this particular sign, whoever is born in this particular sign is eccentric or is compassionate or very stubborn or this that. So each and every zodiacal sign has some characteristics, and we think that is what we need to worry about. That is not the whole and soul of the zodiacal signs. Throughout the year, each and every zodiac sign has its energy, and all of us go through all the 12 energies, my dear friends. Now, there are some keynotes of each zodiacal sign that we need to study. The keynote of Aries is, I come forth, and from the plane of mind I rule. And during the month of Aries, you must watch your thinking, my dear friends. This is the energy, the Aries time is energy wherein you must watch your thinking, my dear friends. And the keynote of Taurus is, I see, and when the eye is illuminated or opened. So in the month of Taurus, you must occupy yourself with the idea of illumination, my dear friends. This is the time for you to think about illumination. And then the keynote of Gemini is, I recognize my other self, and in waning of that self, I grow and glow. During the month of Gemini, you must observe and record on your chart when your lower self is acting and when your higher self is active, and decide which one you want to be. This is the time that you need to check yourself about the lower and the higher self. And the keynote of Cancer is, I build a lighted house and therein I dwell. This month you must find out how much light you are radiating, my dear friends. So these are the 4: Aries, Taurus, Gemini and Cancer. And then we have the keynote of Leo is that I am that and that am I. And during the month of Leo, you must look at what you are, what you have become, what you have manifested in your life. And for Virgo, I am the mother and the child. I, God, I matter, am. During the month of Virgo, you must keep a chart of how much you care about humanity, because you are the mother and you are the child. And then for Libra, I choose the way that leads between the 2 great lines of force. During the month of Libra, you must chart out how much justice you exercise in your mind, in your speech, in your relationships, in your judgments, in your criticism, in your looks and smiles. And then we have Scorpio. Brahmarshi Patriji is a Scorpion. So even my uncle, my dad's elder brother, is a Scorpion. So warrior I am, and from the battle I emerge triumphant. During the month of Scorpio, you must chart your victories, my dear friends. Where all you have been victorious, that is all you have to chart out. And then Sagittarius, I see the goal, I reach the goal and see another. Sagittarius is a month of goal finding, my dear friends, and you must find out exactly what you want from this life, from your life. And Capricorn, lost am I in the light supernal, yet on that light I turn my back. This is the meaning of service. Capricorn is the month of service, and you must chart what service you are doing for people. Aquarius, water of life am I, poured forth for thirsty men. And during Aquarius, you must work for the unity of mankind, for the brotherhood of humanity. I am an Aquarian. Okay. So, and then the last one, Pisces. I leave the father's home and turning back, I save. During the month of Pisces, one must meditate and labor on the line of serving and saving humanity. Service can turn into a saving force. So my dear friends, these are the real meanings of all the zodiacal signs that we have been learning. This is not astrology, this is energy concept. Each and every month has an energy, and all the energies have been divided as in 12 energies, which we all go through. All the human beings go through all the energies. So let us make the best out of these energies by focusing on that particular energy in each and every zodiacal sign period. So what do full moons and new moons do? What do they do? And since today and tomorrow are the full moon times, what do full moons and new moons do, my dear friends? They provide certain kinds of energies so that eventually their energy, their wind enters your physical, emotional, and mental and spiritual bodies and urges you, encourages you, inspires you, challenges you to proceed on the way of our evolution, my dear friends. We need to strive to new heights. We need to strive to the new energies. We need to strive to transform ourselves, my dear friends. And that is what the full moons and the new moons do. This is very important. And we are going to think that we are not going to stay where we are on our level of evolution. Every day we must make a step ahead. And every full moon will help you, push you towards new heights. All we need to do is to allow it to happen. And what do we do in the full moon, my dear friends? In the full moon, we utilize the energies that are coming from very advanced sources. For example, a cell is a source of energy, an animal is a source of energy, a flower, a man, the planet, the sun, and the zodiac is a great sources of energies, my dear friends. These are told to be as very advanced sources of energy, my dear friends. These are great source of energy from which we can get the cosmic energy and utilize it during the full moon to achieve greater heights. And we have other source of energy in the sky. The only thing we need to do is that all the sources of energy are working for our progress if we utilize their energies appropriately and economically, my dear friends. Whatever energies are coming to us and whatever whatever energies influencing us, we need to use those energies in a better way, in the proper way, and in a very highly economical manner. We are not here to misuse the energies that are coming to us. If the energies are misused, then they will be slowly be taken away from us. As long as we use the energies in the right way for the benefit of humanity, for the betterment of humanity, and for the entire world and the galaxies, the more energy we will be receiving because we are utilizing it in an appropriate and an economical manner. And every time we start the period from the full moon to the new moon to the full moon, these energies start releasing themselves. These energies must be reacted to or responded to. Reaction means that you are creating fiction in your nature, that you're creating lots of problems and difficulties within your nature. That is what happens. So are you going to respond? Are you going to react? Energies are to be responded to and not to be reacted. And then, for example, in every full moon, you see that accidents and crimes and different things are increasing. It is because these people are reacting to the energy and creating imbalance in the system. But if they respond to these energies will come and cultivate their nature physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. So, my dear friends, don't let the full moon energies get the reactions out from you, but more than that, let the response come from you. Reactions come from the emotional body, response comes from the heart. As simple as that. The more we are inclined to the heart, the more response we will get. The more inclined we are to the emotional body, the more reactions we will get. So what are we really inclined towards decides whether we get a reaction or the response towards the energies. And then what is the full moon stand for? It stands for self-examination, my dear friends. Examination of self. We celebrate the full moons in order to examine ourselves and see how we are unfolding, developing, and blooming. And full moon festivals are times in which we observe and examine our physical, emotional, mental life and check our orientations. What are we oriented towards? What is our interest? Where is our consciousness? What really matters in my life? Where am I focusing towards? What am I confused? Do I have clarity in my mind? In all the aspects, physical, emotional, and mental. This is the time that we orient ourselves, really like hold ourselves and put ourselves down and ask ourselves, what is it that you really want from your life? And Leo is a constellation of millions of stars, my dear friends. And the energy holding this group of stars together as a unit is the soul of Leo. And the soul of Leo creates reorientation, individualization, focus, self-determination, independence, and fusion in the human being. These energies create 5 phases in the life of the human being. So, my dear friends, Leo energy is a very high energy, just like all the other zodiacal energies. Each and every energy is a very high energy, and we need to reorient ourselves during this Leo full moon period. In the first phase, as I've said, there will be 5 phases. Okay? For every human being, we have 5 phases. And in the first phase, man is a slave of his body, emotions, thoughts, outer forces, events, and influences. He is a slave of the environment, of religion, and of politics. He is a slave, and he is so happy being a slave because there is no resistance in him. Immediately when the resistance starts, man loses his happiness. Then the second stage starts. So as I talk about all the phases, all the 5 phases, my dear friends, please try to analyze yourself. Please try to understand yourself and find out in which phase you are in. You need to question yourself about this. And in the second stage is confusion, my dear friends. One part of man wants to be a slave. The other part says, I do not want to be a slave. The person is confused between these two forces. And he starts to drink a bottle of whiskey, and then a voice inside him says, you're not doing the right thing. Then he's in conflict. He still wants to drink the whiskey, but he will not be happy with himself when he drinks it. In the same way, we do so many things in our life, my dear friends, which we don't want to do, but we somehow end up doing it. We want to be healthy, but we sleep till late in the morning. But again, we get up and say, we curse ourselves. Oh my God, what is this? I wanted to go for a walk. I wanted to do exercise. Why did I allow myself to sleep? And again, the same, the next morning, you do the same thing. You say you want to be healthy, but you don't want to do anything about it. So there's a conflict in you, like fighting. One person, one aspect of your personality wants to be free. One aspect of the personality wants to have clarity. So confusion and clarity both fight together. And then when he's going to lecture or reading a good book or doing meditation, another voice says, what about the party tonight? Your girlfriend, your boyfriend. Then he cannot enjoy his meditation and study, and he cannot enjoy the party if he goes. Wherever he goes, he'll not be happy, because there's a conflict happening within him. It has got nothing to do with the meditation. It has got nothing to do with the boyfriend, the girlfriend, or the party. But within him, there's a conflict and there's a confusion. What do you really want to do? And then the third stage is reorientation, my dear friends. The power of Leo lies in man's ability to reorient himself. To reorient or repolarize yourself means slowly to focus your consciousness towards the higher values, especially towards beauty, goodness, and truth. How much beauty, how much goodness, and how much truth do you have in yourself, in your physical, emotional, and mental natures? For example, you try to be truthful. At first, you're 10% truthful and 90% dishonest. But always, slowly, you have to try to increase your truthfulness. When you become 50% truthful, the power of Leo awakens in you. You all keep telling each other and promising each other all false promises, false acknowledgements, and we are so artificial in our behavior, in our speech, that has to cut down. The gossip has to cut down. Everything has to cut down in order for the Leo energies to awaken in you. And Leo says, awaken to yourself, my dear friends. You are not the physical body. You are not the emotional body. You are not the mental body. There is no nourishment in this identification. Raise yourself up and awaken into the next stage, my dear friends. We always generally say that, I am not this body. Which body are you talking about? We all say, I am not the body, I am the soul. Okay, you're not the body. Which body are you not? And which body are you? I'm not the physical body, I'm not the emotional body, I'm not the mental body. You have to mention all these three bodies, that I am not either of these. So, raise yourself up, my dear friends. Uplift yourself and reach to the greater heights. And the next stage, or the first stage, is the stage of becoming, my dear friends. Becoming is the stage of transformation. When the personality is under your control, and until you know who you really are, you cannot control whatever is in you that you are not. When you know yourself, you can control your not self. This is a very deep subject, my dear friends, which every one of us really need to concentrate and hear these words out. These are glorious words. These are beautiful words. that will enlighten you. Really listen and concentrate on this subject. And until you know who you really are, you cannot control whatever is in you that you are not. When you know yourself, you can control your not self. One is the self, one is the not self. Whatever you are, that is a self. Whatever you are not, that is a not self. So we need to know what we are and what we are not. The knowingness comes when you recognize that your body is not you, your emotions is not you, your mind is not you, that all the attractions coming from the outside world are not you. The stage of becoming is the stage of becoming your true self. I will give an example of an onion, my dear friends. We are all like onions, and each and every layer, as we take away, there's a small bud which is there inside. That is your true self. Take the layers one by one, whatever you have been, covering yourself up and living in a shell till now. Just take off all the layers and become the true self that you are. Become you. And this stage also reflects in your outer behavior, and you stop being a mechanical person. People cannot control you. When people tell you things, you question those things, analyze them, and accept only if those things that you understand or affirm, and you become independent. You have the will to choose, to discriminate, and to follow the path that is increasingly filling your heart with greater joy, freedom, beauty, goodness, and truth. This is the time where you have to really try to get in touch with who you are becoming. What are you becoming? And then the greatest sickness in the world today is the sickness of dependency, of opening your mouth and swallowing the pills people put in front of you. To overcome this sickness, you must receive the energy of Leo, who stands on the rock and roars, I am myself. What does a lion do? It roars. Authentically, confidently, independent. That is what your true nature is. Reclaim yourself. And the fifth stage after becoming is fusion, my dear friends. Christ explained the psychological mystery of fusion with the following words. Unless you lose yourself, you cannot find yourself. The lower self must be fused in a greater self. The individuality must die in the greater individuality, which is the only one that exists, which is God. Lose yourself and you will find yourself. And people talk about cosmic consciousness, God consciousness, and Christ consciousness. And these names have no meaning at all until you have a realization that you are a part of God. And you are a cell in the great life behind manifestation. And when you come to this realization, you will no longer be an individual, but you will be independent. You will be one with everything, but you will still have your own color and music. And the energy of Leo creates a sensitivity in you to the pole star, the Polaris. Polaris represents the pole star of God within you. And this means that Leo creates an orientation in you towards God, towards that supreme wholeness. And this is the pole star, my dear friends. And this is what a pole star has a creation, like a direction. And the pole star creates direction in you, and you pass through several phases. In the first phase, you sense a meaning in life. In the second stage, you see the plan. In the third stage, you see the purpose. The purpose is the pole star, my dear friends. And the fourth stage is sacrifice, which means I am in you and you are in me. And I want to be one with everything possible. And this is the message of Leo, my dear friends. This is the message of Leo. And the lion of Leo stands for three things. You unveil yourself and find yourself. Then radiate yourself out as creativity through which you express beauty, goodness, and truth. And then your life will be a great inspiration for others And through that inspiration, you will awaken the lion sleeping in every human being. Each and every human being has a lion, sleeping lion, hidden inside her or him. You become a lion and then awaken the lions in each and every human being, my dear friends. Leo is the symbol of self-mastery, my dear friends. We need to master ourselves through questioning, through reorienting, through transforming ourselves. And we are told that the eyes of the constellation of Leo are directed to the pole star, which is one of the stars of Ursa Minor, the little bear. The energy of the constellation of Leo is directed to the pole star to bring its energy down to the zodiac. And from the zodiac, it is distributed to all the stars and the galaxies. And what does the pole star have to do with self-mastery, my dear friends? The pole star is the self within you. You have a star within you. Throughout millions of incarnations, you built patterns around that pole star. The great ones watch your progress through the patterns you build. You build physical patterns, patterns of where you're going, what you're doing, how you're acting, and you build emotional patterns through your hatred, love, attraction, repulsion, etc. And you build mental patterns through your thousands of incarnations. The great ones are watching your progress, my dear friends. The great ones are watching your progress. So what kind of patterns have you built? Have you built constructions or slaughterhouses? Have you built things that helped humanity or things that mentally destroyed the parts of humanity? Within these physical, emotional, and mental patterns, a small pattern that starts to weave itself, which is your spiritual pattern. And your spiritual pattern then slowly builds a symphony on the axis of yourself. So once you cross the physical, emotional, and mental, then your spiritual life starts, my dear friends. We need to reorganize and reorient our physical, emotional, mental patterns. Then and then only can we enter the spiritual path. We cannot bypass anything, my dear friends. We need to go through physical, mental, and emotional orientations to get into the spiritual path. Unless and until we cross this bridge, we cannot get over to the other side of our life. That's from the personality to the soul. And what is self-mastery? Self-mastery has two facets, my dear friends. The one facet is that we can control our physical body, emotional body, and mental body and make them serve our set goals. But sometimes such integration and mastery lead to the dark path. Many strong individuals who integrate and master their personalities use their personalities for destructive goals. And please bear in mind that if the more you misuse the power that has been given to you, it will be taken away from you in the future. And then the other facet of self-mastery has an esoteric sense. Slowly, you become your true self by withdrawing yourself from the things that you are not. And people think that they are their own self. But if you observe your own life, you will see that sometimes you are your suits, your dresses, your money, your jewels, your properties, your fame, your reputation. To be your true self means to realize that you are not these things. So self-mastery has two facets, my dear friends, and these are the two facets. And the 7 rays of powers of self-mastery. Self-mastery is withdrawal into your central core. And it is such a beautiful feeling to start withdrawing yourself into your central core, my dear friends. The greatest therapy and the greatest enlightenment come when you withdraw yourself from the basement of your constitution to start going up into the tower. The lighthouse. I urge you to imagine the lighthouse. And the self is a diamond with 7 facets. These 7 facets radiate 7 rays, which we call the 7 powers of the self. The first power of the self is concentration. Concentration means that in everything, everywhere, and in all conditions, you are focused in your immortal being. Concentration means that you never let go of the goal you have in your mind. You don't get diverted, don't get distracted, you don't get misled. Nothing of that sort happens when you concentrate. And concentration means to organize your physical vehicle, your life, and its events in such a way that they do not distract you from reaching your destination. Personality concentration is the focus of the mind, but real concentration is steady fusion with your true core. The first power of you is concentration. The second power is the self is synthesis. Synthesis is the ability to bring all contradictory, adversarial things together and in such a relationship that they form a harmony and serve a greater purpose. Synthesis must have a core, and everything that exists in this universe has a core. And the solar system has its core. The galaxy has its core. Even little bug has its core. An atom has its core. What is your core? When are you going to begin the journey towards your own core? When everything is organized and orchestrated in the right way, with the right speed and the right dosage, and is focused on the purpose, we say that man is utilizing his power of synthesis. And when you start to manifest the oneness in your nature through your vehicles, you are synthesized. The physical, emotional, and mental vehicles. And when a group manifests its goal and purpose through all its activities, that group is synthesized. So we as a group, we need to analyze ourselves and understand ourselves if we as a group are synthesized or not. Synthesized means we need to cooperate with each other. We need to have one purpose, one group goal. And then we will become truly synthesized. We will become truly one in a group. Then the third power of the self is silence. A person who is progressing on the path towards perfection steadily enters into greater silence. The malice, the slander, the gossip, the criticism, and belittling remarks slowly disappear. And this is personality silence, which is needed. But spiritual silence is also very, 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 very necessary. My dear friends, please get rid of this malice and slander and gossip and criticism and degrading others, the ill talk, the ill will, everything. Once you remove all these things, you will get control of over your speech. And you will gain more and more energy because you are using it for the betterment of humanity. In a better way, in an appropriate manner, in an economical manner. And then spiritual silence means to charge your inner core in such a way that you build a sphere around you through which lower vibrations cannot penetrate and evoke reactions from you. You protect yourself. You prepare a bubble or something out of yourself, out of your own meditation. You protect yourself from all the negative reactions. And nothing can influence you or control you, my dear friends. And this is the power of the spirit. Spiritual silence means total coordination and fusion with your core. And there's no friction in you anymore. And there's only harmony and rhythm. And the fourth power of the self is patience, my dear friends. Spiritual patience. There's physical patience and spiritual patience, my dear friends. So spiritual patience means to cooperate with the karmic laws. You're not in a hurry. You're not late. You're exactly at the right time in your evolution, in your actions, thinking and feeling. Oh my God, there's no time. What is the urgency? When are you going to relax? When are you going to learn to relax? And it's okay. You are exactly there where you are supposed to be. We need to understand one thing. There is no urgency. Life is eternal. There is no urgency, but do not postpone. There is no urgency, but do not postpone. We need to strike a balance between these two, my dear friends. And we need to cooperate with the karmic laws. Understand that life as it is happening to you is exactly as per the plan. as per the karmic plan, and you allow yourself to be joyfully suffer, to joyfully undergo the pain, to joyfully accept the effects of your own karma. And spiritual patience is wisdom and the ability to intuitively know the right timing. And it is the ability to wait until your bodies can respond to the pressure you are putting on them. And patience is the ability to wait until the true faces of your co-workers are revealed. Patience is the ability to wait until your physical, emotional, and mental bodies can translate your spiritual glory. So, my dear friends, at this point of time, I would like to ask each and every one of you, are you patient? Are you patient? Are you patient enough? Do you have spiritual patience? Yes or no? Patience. That's the fourth power of the self, my dear friends. You allow yourself to grow, to take the time. You allow yourself to take the time to grow into your full glory. And the fifth power of the self is balance, my dear friends. You must create a balance between your body, emotions, mind, and spirit. And unless you have that balance, everything will be distorted within you. Balance is the secret and ultimate secret of tuning your instrument so that the music is clearly expressed through your instrument. I will give you an example of the harp, my dear friends, which has many strings. It has to be tuned perfectly, and the perfect balance has to be brought so that we can play beautiful music from the harp. So try to create balance within yourself, within your emotions, within your mind, within your body, and within your spirit. Balance is the ability to arrange all life events, all relationships, and all happenings in such a way that you can surf upon them without falling into the abyss. We sometimes go so deep into everything that we feel that we are in a trap. So, my dear friends, balance is that ability wherein you can surf along all those things. And balance is the ability to stand between spiritual and material forces without losing your equilibrium. On the summits of your achievements, you do not lose your head. You do not let vanity and pride sneak in and destroy you. On the contrary, when you have balance, as you go higher towards the summit, you become more and more and more balanced between spirit and matter. Don't hate spirit, don't hate matter. You need to strike a balance between the two because you need the two to be able to bring out the best version of you. And this is because you are growing in such a way that your spirit is able to be translated into matter without distortion. So spiritual and material forces need to be balanced, need to be in equilibrium, my dear friends. And we need to strike a balance. It needs to be a 50-50. It has to be a 50-50. And then only it will be balanced. And the sixth power of the self is the urge to be enlightened. In the personality sense, enlightenment means to learn, to have knowledge, and to see things as they are. In the spiritual sense, enlightenment means to transform your nature into spirit. As a charcoal becomes fire, you change and transform your nature into light, my dear friends. And enlightenment is not knowledge. It is not collecting data in your consciousness. It is not trying to be an encyclopedia. Now, everyone asks, everyone uses this word called enlightenment. But what is enlightenment? What is enlightenment, my dear friends? Enlightenment is the process of becoming your true self, of becoming the image that you are, the image created by that almighty power. That is enlightenment. Enlightenment means to free yourself from any kind of darkness. Darkness is anything that limits you or blinds you. Enlightenment is transformation. Enlightenment is the release of your core. Your core has been imprisoned through millions of ages in the body, in bodily things, in emotions and emotional objects, in the mind and mental objects. Releasing yourself from these is called enlightenment. Enlightenment is not a search for knowledge or learning. Unless you have enlightenment, everything that you know is going to be used against your own interest, my dear friends. So manifestation is a huge aspect. Whatever you know, unless and until it transforms you, it will work against you. Hoarding knowledge is not enough. You need to allow that knowledge to transform you. Apply it to your life practically, and then become the transformation that you have always sought to be. And then the energy of Leo inspires us to look for the inner star of the self. And unless you look for that star, you are lost. And it's very interesting that people are looking for everything except that star. People are interested 24 hours per day in their pocketbooks, sex, drinking, eating, health, and not 1 minute in the self. And the full moon of Leo is a reminder that there is a pole star within you that must be the object of your concentration. When it is the object of your concentration, you will steadily draw energy from it. When you draw energy from it, your life will change. And once you have the contact with the innermost self within you, you will think that 25 hours per day, 1 hour more, extra, 25 hours per day about the self. You will receive the direction of all the things that you are doing with your body, emotions, and mind during the day, during your life, during your incarnations. And the self will become the core or the axis of all your activities. And the final power, the final ray of the self is the urge to freedom, my dear friends. The true freedom means to renounce yourself. When you reach this stage, the diamond shines out and you become one with the cosmic self. And unless you deny yourself, unless you take that most precious chalice that you built throughout the ages and destroy it at the feet of God, you cannot attain cosmic consciousness. The seventh power of the self is refusal of the self. Isn't this so beautiful to understand, my dear friends? And this is not even the entirety of the Leo energy that I'm talking about. That there is a huge subject that everyone has to read that book, The Wisdom of the Zodiac, and try to bring these 7 powers into action in your life through your meditation, thinking, reading, and pondering. Try to make a great endeavor daily for at least 2 or 3 minutes to concentrate on the self. If you ask me, I will say, do it for 1 hour. And then concentration of the self creates synthesis in your life. It creates silence in your life. We talk too much. We mix our auras by talking, especially by talking negatively. When we speak about things that are related to malice, slander, gossip, and criticism, we get away from our inner core and become bodies, mess, and mud. And try to think not in terms of receiving light, but of being a light. Think how much light you are in your own environment. How much light are you carrying wherever you go? Are you a candle, a big bulb, or the sun? Which one are you? Which one are you, and which one do you want to become? Are you a candle, or a big bulb, or the sun? You decide for yourself. And finally, we come to the stages of evolution. The first stage is when you become aware of your physical existence. The second stage of consciousness of the self is experienced at the moment when you feel that not only are you a physical being, but you also have an emotional existence, that you're an emotional being. Third one, is, the shock at the Leo full moon brings a person mental self-awareness. And in the next stage, your focus of consciousness is in the heart, or you develop heart consciousness. Physical, emotional, mental, and then heart, my dear friends. And the fifth stage, the human being becomes a soul. And then the next stage of consciousness or awareness, you lose all self-identity. You become light, you become love, and you become power. And in other words, you turn into a spiritual triad. Final stage of consciousness is achieved through the agency of Leo energy, which is called cosmic crucifixion. These are the 7 stages of Leo energy, my dear friends. And Leo develops self-consciousness. And self-consciousness develops stage after stage until you reach the consciousness of the all self. And to assist yourself on the path of these 7 shocks, there are 3 questions that you can use on your path to self-discovery. Can I do things better and live a better life? Can I control my body, emotions, and thoughts and be detached from them? What am I at this stage of my evolution, and what is my next step? These are the questions that each and every one of us need to ask ourselves. And if you meditate on these questions and try to meet the challenge, you will prepare yourself for the energy of Leo when the sun enters that sign. And at the time of the full moon, you may consciously register a minor or a major shock, allowing the energy of Leo to work within you. Try to meditate on these aspects, my dear friends. Try to question yourself these questions. And then meditate. And finally, we come to the 10 signs which you can recognize yourself as a self-conscious individual. If you have these 10 signs, then you are a self-conscious individual. Otherwise, you are not. As simple as that. I'm telling all black and white, my dear friends. There is no gray area over here. Okay? Let's start. Everything that a noble person, nobility, first one is nobility, my dear friends. Everything that a noble person thinks, speaks, and does is in the interest of others and in the interest of everything that exists. Yes or no? Do you have nobility? Yes or no? Second one, honesty. Okay? Honesty comes into being when a person thinks and speaks and acts and centered in his core. Yes or no? Then the third one, sincerity. Sincerity is a sign that he is not identified with his not self. Are you identified or you're not identified with the not self, my dear friends? Yes or no? There's only yes or no. There's no try, there's no becoming, there's no. There's a yes or no, that's it. Fearlessness is a sign that in his essence, he is aware of the indestructibility of his self. Nothing can destroy you. Are you fearless? Yes or no? Sometimes yes, I'm fearful, sometimes I'm not. It doesn't work that way. So independence. Independence is a sign that his body's glamours and illusions are not controlling his actions. Yes or no? Having prestige is a sign that he stands for principles. Yes or no? Respect for one's own reputation is a sign that he avoids hurting the service he is rendering for others. Respect. Yes or no? Solemnity is a sign that he is living in the presence of the all-seeing eye. Yes or no? Control of speech is a sign that he is aware of the destructive consequences of wrong speech. Yes or no? Absence of vanity and ego is a sign that he is united with his own core. Yes or no? My dear friends, please take a look at this and you decide for yourself whether you are a self-conscious individual or not. No one is going to judge you. No one is going to analyze you because only we know about ourselves, our own true core. Look at these 10 points and decide for yourself whether you're a self-conscious individual or not. If you're not, try to find out what is it that you need to work upon. This is the checklist. These are the parameters that I give to each and every one of you. Like a lion, live like a lion, my dear friends. And when you evoke the light in others, they will be free from the karmic mess they are creating in their lives. We all trap ourselves in various entanglements in our lives. Once we start to shine the light within us out upon humanity, we slowly become free of these traps. Then we become diamonds, very precious diamonds. And the diamonds is the symbol of something that endures throughout ages without ever losing its beauty. Every woman is a lioness, every man is a lion. Show your lion. Show that you're a lioness. Show that you're a lion. You are a lion. You are a lioness. As royal as a lion and lionesses are. Roar like a lion. Try to live tomorrow like a lion, my dear friends. When physical, emotional, mental problems come, say to yourself, I am a lion. And stand up and face these attacks and smash them with your paw. And try to be like a lion so that inner lion awakens. And by the way, I need to appreciate the entire Karnataka team and the entire team which is working relentlessly behind this program. A huge congratulations and a huge gratitude to each and every one in the team. Thank you so much on behalf of all the people.
Thank you, Parinita ma'am. It was a great pleasure having you here.